our purpose on earth. Today we will cover number 2, and I will just say the 4 things, and then we will cover number 2. And I believe as we continue, we'll be able to understand how God works in our life through His purpose. And therefore, number 2, we say it is where are you? Where are you? You really need to identify where you are. Remember, when Adam failed, the first question that God asked, it is not whose he is, but where are you? When we allow sin to come in our life, we lose our place where God has placed us. And therefore, in the spiritual realm, we are not visible because sin is like a barrier. And this is a question that we need to ask so that we can be able to be restored back to our purpose, because so many people are living a purposeless life. Let me tell you the truth. Waking up, going to job, getting money, eating, sleeping, waking up again, going to work, having money, enjoying that money and sleeping. That is not a purpose. And therefore, we as human beings, we need to have a purpose, identifying where are you? Where are we? Really evaluate yourself where you are. For those who are Christian, where are you? For those who are not born again, where are you? For those who probably don't believe in God, where are you? Because we are talking to every person, not only the Christians, but every person, understanding your purpose on earth. So let us read in Ephesians 2 verses 6. Ephesians 2 verses 6. Ephesians 2 verses 6, it talks about where we are seated. The Bible talks of spiritually, we are seated in the heavenly places with Christ. So where are you? Because when we are seated in heavenly places with Christ, it means that already we are at a point of advantage and at a point of victory. That means there is no way we can be defeated. There is no way. And really, staying with Christ, who holds the purpose of God, He is able to speak to us His purpose, and then we can view our body at what we call an eagle's perspective. We can see where we can start and where we can end. We can see our life in a nutshell, where we began and where we can go. Because how we think really determines how far we'll go and even the direction. So as far as we are seated in the heavenly places with Christ, we are at a point of advantage. We are at a point of victory. At that place, we are able to hear God. We are very close to God because Jesus is at the right hand of God. So it means we are where God is. Yeah. So spiritually, we are with Christ. Physically, yes, we're in our bodies working and doing all those things. But when we have that we call a mind of Christ, a mind beyond this earth, we are able to take things that other men don't know. We are able to download things from the heavenly realm to our mind and bringing an understanding to the world. Because a fulfilled life is not about me, myself, and I. Purposeful life is impacting people. So as we are seated in the heavenly places, we are able to manifest on earth. We've said spiritually, we are living in heaven. We are seated in the heavenly places with Christ. Physically, on earth, to manifest what you hear and see Christ do in the heavenly places. So why are we in the heavenly places? To hear and to see, so that we can do as we see Him do. Because success is transferring that which you have to other people. Now, what is the success of a mango? The success of a mango is not only providing food to the farmer. No, it is successfully transferring its ability through a seed, the potential of a mango tree, to another place. When a mango transfers its potential through a seed to another place, there is a probability of another tree, of another mangoes to another farmer. So even on earth, our purpose, for us to declare that we are successful, we need to identify, have we planted seed of greatness in people that even if we die, other people will take over, having other companies, bigger companies than ours, having other people who will be able to impact this earth as we did. Because if you're a person just seated there, you're employed, you have food, you have good car, you have good home, and then you die, you have fulfilled no purpose on earth. Yes. Indeed, our general purpose is having children and transferring our genes to those children and the children's children. But if we don't impact those children with a purpose, they will not impact other people with purpose. And eventually this earth will all be about food and houses and money. And this is the root of all evil. This is the root where people kill other people, because we want more money to do what? To have more houses. More money to do what? To have more cars. That's not a purpose. Anybody having a purpose doesn't have any business fighting any other person with a different purpose, because you know that it's God who fulfill His purpose in you. So identifying where you are, it is an advantage, because you will be able to see things in aerial view, or an above view, an eagle's view, where you can see where you're starting and where you're going. Anybody with an advantage of a lifted place is able to see where he can start and where he can finish. For example, the Google map is picked on an aerial view. We can see our own native home, and we can see Nairobi, or we can see our capital city at the same time. And if I zoom more, I can see Nairobi, even my own place. I can see my village. And so when we are seated in the heavenly places, we are like that Google map. We can see where we are going, we can see where we are. And therefore we have an advantage. Google Map will tell you where there is jam. Google Map will tell you where there is all these roadblocks and police and everything. So at the start of your journey, you know the route you will take. But anybody who doesn't have an advantage of Google Map, most likely will end up in a jam, will end up in an accident, or in a place where there's an accident, or will end up in a blocked road. But anybody who has a Google Map has an advantage. The same thing. When we have a purpose and we know where we are and we know whose we are, we have an advantage over any other person over the face of the earth, because we know we are God's children and we know we are seated in the heavenly places with Christ. And therefore, we are able to move ahead of time through our mind. Because as a man thinketh, so he is. So when our mind is fed in the spiritual realm, we are able to act in the physical realm. And in these heavenly places, there's something I need you to understand. How God helps us to remain on course in His purpose in our life. When you read Isaiah 26 verses 3, thus will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind stays on you, because he trusts in you. Now, why are we in the heavenly places? That we can stay our mind. As Christians, as people who are on earth to serve God, we need to know that when we are seated in the heavenly places, we are staying our mind. Don't let your mind see where you are living. Don't let your mind be in the ghetto where you're living. Don't let your mind be in frustration where you are. But let your mind be in the heavenly places. Stay your mind in God. And you'll always be in perfect peace. Because in God, He will tell you the reason why this body is passing through this is because of this and this. Therefore, you are able to stay a better life, because you know whose you are, you know where you are, and where you are, that's where your heart and where your mind is. And now, what do you treasure? Because again, where you are, it depends with what you're gaining there. And that's why Jesus says, keep your treasures in heaven. Because as long as your treasures are on earth, as long as what you treasure most is on earth, you will never be able to stay in the heavenly places. You will always be on and off. Today you're in the heavenly places, tomorrow you're on earth, frustrated, crying here and there, saying, God, you've left me and all that. But when you're able to stay your mind by having all the treasures in you, is God your treasure? Who is God to you? Because if God is not your treasure, there's a problem. The only way we can be able to fulfill our purpose is seeing God as a treasure, seeing God as all in all. All I need is God, so that He can be able to direct me. He can be able to help me walk the way I'm supposed to walk. Let me finish with this for that second point where we're talking where you are. Where are you? When Peter saw that lame man at the Gate Beautiful, when Peter healed that man, there are several things that were restored. And those are the things that we are learning in this place. Number one, his position was changed. He was sitting at the gate, but when he was healed, he was changed from sitting at the gate. He went to the temple inside. Because remember, the lame, the whatever, those people who are having blemish and all that, they were not welcomed much in the temple. But when he was healed, he was given an opportunity, he was given the right to get in the temple. That's one thing that he was able to, the position was changed. And here we're seeing the number one, the one that we've read, whose we are, our position, our status, who are we, is changed. Number two, what was changed is his name. He was called a leper. But after healing, no one would refer him as a leper. He was found in the temple praising, so they would have referred to him as a praiser. So the name was changed. And now we are seeing in that first point when we read whose we are, our name is changed from just an ordinary man to a son of God. When our name is changed from just an ordinary person to a son of God, maybe your name is Moreu. In our culture, Moreu means a drunkard. And now you're born again, your name is changed to a son of God. It means you have been elevated, your name has changed. And therefore, that other name has no effect, is declared redundant, is obsolete. And therefore, you have a privilege of knowing more things because you are son of God and you're in the place of heaven. So, no kings just take territory. There must be a war. And how do we fight? We fight through prayers. We fight through knowledge. The more you know, the more you are able to take territories and places. I believe you've learned something. I believe something is coming in your life and an understanding of how God does things in our life through His purpose. The moment you understand you don't have your own purpose, it is the purpose of God that you have owned, and now you're calling your purpose. You'll be able to understand whose you are and where you are. But anywhere you are, there's a reason why you are there. Whether you're in a ghetto, whether you're in palatial homes, whether you are anywhere, because I know I'm talking to people even outside Kenya, outside our land, wherever you are, you could be passing through a lot. You could be passing through a lot and you're wondering, what's my purpose here? The moment you understand why, you'll be able to be in a better position to do things. So when the questions we have been asking is who, where, why, and what do you have? Whose you are, where you are, why you are here, and what you have. To understand much of God, much of our purpose on earth. And I know God will richly bless you. In Jesus' name, amen.